the things that God has been telling me about with that is recently the similarities between the Air Force and your prayer life. And it's not a perfect match, but that there are these, so we talk about spiritual warfare. And so the Air Force and prayer similarities are, there are different types of prayers that you can pray in different types of situation that are similar to the Air Force strategies that so you think about, like, Forrest Gump and Bubba Gump they're fighting the war, and they're in a bad spot, and they call in air support to blow up that tree line right there. There is an enemy, an enemy stronghold right there in that tree. That's frontline support. It's like direct action, immediate danger. It's like we need immediate support, something urgent. We are in a crisis right here, and we need this problem dealt with. Okay, so in the prayer life, I kind of felt like that was situations where it's a health situation, or you're in the middle of a car wreck. You're about to get in a car wreck, or something tense is happening. It's like you need immediate air support. It's the prayer. Your car's going off the road, and the one word hollering out, Jesus, yeah. Jesus, help me.
Yep.
Like, it's an immediate air support type of analogy. Okay, the other one is behind enemy lines. They call that air interdiction, or deep air support, which is, so think of Europe. They would blow up these bridges or these munition factories, or they would bomb these, key roads or airfields or things that are like behind enemy lines. Like, it's not a problem right now, but it has a potential to be a big problem later, right? So they can blow up this factory, which, again, the factory's not causing us any problems right now, but if we blow up this factory, it creates disruption in supply lines, and we don't have to worry about that factory pumping out, bullets that are going to kill the good guys. That's like so if the prayer analogy is, that's like you're praying for things that aren't even here yet, like that things that you're not even struggling with right now, or the ministries that you're involved with, like drugs or alcohol or adultery, and like you can be praying against, or like, we've got this big event next week that we've been praying health over, the speaker, and good travel. Like, we're praying for things, but like he's not currently sick.
Yeah.
He's in perfect health. We're praying against, we're trying to, like, be out in front of it, that deep air support. And then I guess the last one, there's a bunch of other examples, saturation bombing and all the, precision guided missiles and all that. There's a bunch of other examples, but just for the sake of time, is the example of the stealth bomber, that I can be praying for you and you not even know it. Stealth bomber up there flying around, providing support. Like, you can pray for, like we're praying for the governor next week, or you pray for the president, or you pray for this coffee shop girl, that God will speak to her. It's like, that's a stealth bomber. Like, that stealth bomber's up there flying around, doing reconnaissance, and you don't even know. Like, you don't even know that grandma was praying for you, or that your mama was praying for you, or that, like, that's that. And you can wage, just like the drone strikes, those dudes flying those drones are like in Nevada or somewhere, and they're flying drones over in Afghanistan. Like, you can wage highly effective war from the closet, from your own home, prayer room. And so I've just been thinking about that and kind of playing it forward. And when I hear things like about the Air Force or Air Force strategy or whatever, I jot it down and try to think about how can that apply to your prayer life, your prayer warfare.
I think in line with that same analogy, if you're let's say you join the army. You don't say, hey, I want to join the army, and then the next day they throw you into war. They don't throw you into battle. They train you and equip you how to fight. Right? And so you're talking about different forms of prayer. I think if you are will call you a baby Christian. Somebody just say, hey, put me in the battle. It's like a lot of your times your prayers are just like, Jesus, help Charlie. Like you're not really learning the different ways to pray, but as you mature in your walk, you begin to learn about the stealth prayers that you just mentioned, or the reactive prayer, or the proactive prayer, or the prayers against, anything happening to people. It's just interesting. I mean, your dad was, he was, the first time I ever prayed was with your dad at lunch. I was dating my wife, and he said, Ray, I want you to bless the meal. And I'm like, what do I say? I didn't even know what to say at the dinner table. And he just gave me, like 5 lines to say. And so that prayer to me was so intimidating to give. But now look, being a Christian for, 8 years now, to see how I do pray differently. So I think your analogy with the Air Force, I think, is spot on. I think there's a lot of training for battle, becoming a warrior. Everything we see in the world are great examples of what it's like to be a warrior for Christ.